want to make sure that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can. It's just going live now.
It's my first time using AirMeet.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we are good to go and we are live.
Okay, fantastic.
Welcome everyone. Very good evening. Very nice to be again, bringing on another speaker on PitchCamp. We are on our first news episode of the Sales, Leadership and Growth Marketing series. Thank you so much for everyone joining in. Before we get started, we'll just wait for a couple of minutes. We have had pretty good number of registrations.
Yeah, I see some familiar names for sure.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So, if you don't mind, folks, while we wait for others to join, let me ask a quick question. You can use the questions tab on the right. You can pop in an answer to this question. What's your number one marketing challenge today?
Yeah, I would love for this to be an interactive session. In fact, I don't have any slides prepared, so I might reference slides, but I would love for this to be an interactive session. So shoot any questions you have, and I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, I'm putting up the question here. So if you can just respond to this question, that will be awesome. Yeah. What's your number one marketing challenge today? Right. And
my vested interest in all of this is that somebody brings up something that I absolutely have no clue on, and then I get to go back and learn more about that. So that is that's something that I look forward to as well. So yeah, any kind of questions are welcome. Hi Aishwarya, how are you?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether you're a startup, a large enterprise, you're from a digital marketing agency. It really doesn't matter. So all of us face marketing challenges. So while we wait for more people to join in, please feel free to pop in the answer to this question. It will also get us a fair idea on how to steer this conversation and have that question addressed as well. Okay, still no responses. This is a pretty shy crowd today.
Vimlesh, I think you should have folks. Some kind of some warm up, some cheerleading in the beginning. The equivalent of coffee or tea and biscuits to the crowd virtually.
Right. Okay, we have just joining. I need to warm up. Okay. Okay, we have a question coming in.
Okay.
Praveen has a question on which is the best campaign you have seen under $1,000 budget.
$1,000 is a lot. Yeah. So
sure. So let's address that. Let's have people to respond in.
Yeah.
So we are running this quick poll or a question just to understand the audience top of mind question. What's your number one marketing challenge? It's always that one thing. We solve that one thing well. Pretty much downstream, a lot of things get solved. So that's I'm just trying to focus to get what's your number one marketing challenge today. So if you can put in the chat box, we can use that in our conversation. All right, so let's get.
Sorry, Bimlesh, should I answer Praveen's question, or are we going to take it sometime later?
I think we'll take it a little later.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Praveen. So we're going to keep you in suspense for a while.
Yes. Also invested interest.
Hey, hi, Vijay. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Wonderful. So let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining in. We are 7 minutes into the session.
Oops.
Yeah, Roshan, we lost you.
Yeah. Can you see
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my name is Bimlesh Gundarao, and I run PitchCamp. It's a new initiative to help people and professionals to share their ideas with the world better. We do this via coaching and training boot camps to help you pitch to your investors and to your customers well, right? This is a new series that we are starting today on the growth, marketing, and leadership series, and I'm very excited to have our speaker, Roshan Kariappa, a very good friend of mine, and we've known each other since 2013. We both were NASCOM Product Conclave volunteers. And we've been good professional friends. We've also had a couple of business relationships in the past, and I'm very excited to bring his perspectives forward to share on the PitchCamp platform. This entire knowledge series that we have put together, we did a 9-week series on sales for entrepreneurs, and we're going to bring in some excellent growth marketing and sales leaders on this series as well. So with this, Roshan, welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks for being on PitchCamp.
Hey, thank you so much, Bimlesh. Calling it professional friends, it hurts me a little bit. It discounts also the number of beers that we've had together. So, yeah, Bimlesh is doing a fantastic job with PitchCamp, right? There is a lot of content out there. I think there is no dearth of knowledge in terms of how to execute, but there is a real dearth of knowledge in terms of experiential learning, right? So in terms of bringing perspectives from operators, and initiatives like PitchCamp are, I would say, extremely beneficial for people because it gives you knowledge from people who are hands-on battling these problems on a daily basis. So really, really appreciate what you're doing for the startup community. And this is not something new. Bimlesh has been doing this on and off for the last 7 or 8 years now. So yeah, very good, very good.
Fantastic.
Really excited to be a part of this. Yeah.
Thank you, Roshan. Thank you for the kind words. So let's get this going. We've got a very exciting audience, and also a bunch of topics that I would like to cover as well. So talk to us quickly about your background. Give us some context on your love for marketing, and and where and what do you do at Wimo right now, and then we'll take it from there.
Sure. So my love for marketing is entirely incidental. You know how they say true love creeps up on you. You don't go seeking it out, right? So I have worked at early stage, growth stage startups for almost about 12 to 13 years now. And I've done the 0 to 1 journey multiple times, both as an entrepreneur and as an operator. And I've managed, cross-functional teams, product sales, marketing. At this point of time, I head marketing for Wimo. I've been with Wimo for about 3 years. We're doing phenomenally well. And some of the things that, make me unique or make my perspective unique is the fact that I've been an entrepreneur. So I optimize for impact. I may say some things which are extremely scandalous to conventional marketers, right? So feel free to discard them. Feel free to stress test everything that I say. Don't buy any of the BS that I put out there. Anyway, in any case, I only put out stuff that I've actually tested for myself, right? The second is I'm a huge fan of learning by first principles. So I have almost entirely learned everything by first principles. I don't have an MBA, neither did I neither did I work with like a CMO or someone who taught me those marketing principles. So everything I've learned is from a first principles basis. And I love to learn and share, and excited to be here and talk to you guys about things that are top of your mind, and things I can help you with. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Also, I think as I mentioned earlier, I'd love for this to be more interactive, and I'd love to answer questions that you have. I have a couple of slide decks. I can point you to them. They can be like a good reference material if you need. But what I really would like for us to do is to engage in conversation and really unpack some elements around whatever it is that you're working on.
Amazing. So this is a great indication to the audience that keep your questions flowing. I will be interrupting, moving towards some of your questions and moving to some of my conversations with Roshan directly here, right? So, Roshan, why don't we first kick this off? So there are two types of challenges, right? One, predominantly, startups focusing on the technology side don't come with a strong marketing sense or a marketing background, right? And then second, you have a growth stage companies, pretty much like yours, where leaders like you come in, they set up a team, they set up a function, and then take this forward. So my fundamental question is, as a young bootstrapped or even an angel funded company, right? When do you start thinking of marketing, and how marketing is critical, uh, in your product market fit stage as well? So talk to us a little bit about it before we get into growth stage.
I think that's an excellent question, and it's something that I get all the time. I work with a lot of founders as well. I advise them, and it's something that comes at me all the time, which is when do I start building out a marketing team, or am I ready for marketing as a function? See, in my opinion, marketing is a force multiplier. Okay. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you're having one-on-one conversations at this point of time, marketing is a mode of multiplying that one-on-one conversation at scale, right? So think about it. If you're pre-product market fit, it can help you get to product market fit sooner, faster, better, right? It can help you iterate faster on your product and positioning. And if you are at product market fit, then it's putting gasoline on the fire, right? So it can help you accelerate and scale your business that much faster.
Wonderful.
So I look at marketing as a force multiplier, right? And depending on at what point you personally feel that you need one or the other, incidentally, you will always require one or the other, right? You need to sort of employ marketing methods, right? I don't mean go and hire 5 people. Like, typically what I notice is, especially funded startups do this mistake of saying, hey, you know what, that particular Fortune 500 or 100 marketing team looks like this. They have like 3 content marketers, 1 SEO marketer, 1 whatever, right? And they will go out in the market and pay top dollar to hire all of these people on day 0, right? That doesn't work. That simply doesn't work. Okay, because a lot of these elements in terms of what messages, what channels are relevant for you are extremely organic. You have to sort of go through that journey, right? There are certain principles to help you not make certain mistakes and tread off the road, that off the virtuous path as such. But then to think that on day 0 you will have this team and they will execute at scale is very foolhardy, right?
Right.
So I would say, if you're starting out a marketing team, hire a couple of generalists, and generalists are often code for interns, right? uh, so hire a couple of interns, try a bunch of things out, and then scale as you go, right? Year from now, if you try enough things, you will understand what channels work, what messages work, what skills you need to deploy, where you need to hire, what you need to do, etc. Right? So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, fantastic. So, so this is great. So I put up a team of interns, and we experiment on a couple of these channels. So during this experiment, you end up burning a lot of money, or even that little bit of money that you have. So how do you optimize and figure out in the early days what channels to go after?
See, marketing, again, there's a misnomer that marketing is something that's expensive, right? You have to spend X amount of dollars on, ads and this and that and whatever. To my mind, you can sort of substitute dollars with creativity up to a certain extent, right?
Sure.
At least in the very early stages, if you can be creative, if you can hustle, if you can run really hard, then there is no reason why you cannot outcompete even those with some amount of money on the marketing front, right? Let me give you a few examples. Email is next to nothing. Email costs next to nothing, right?
Correct.
Social media costs next to nothing, right? You can think of
just a minute. Okay, we lost him. So we'll wait for him to. Yeah, folks, just give me a second. Hello. Yeah, I lost your audio and video, but you are still in the session. How do you? What options are you seeing there? Log out and log in again. Close the browser. Yeah, or just close the browser and click on that link again. Okay. Okay, you're back.
hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, so sorry everyone. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So where was I? Uh. Yeah. So we were talking about $0 marketing, or
Right.
bootstrap marketing as such, right? And I was essentially saying that there are plenty of channels, where it costs us next to nothing, right? Email lists cost you next to nothing. Social media costs you next to nothing. Even going out there and doing a little bit of an event or an activation initiative costs you next to nothing, right? It costs you time and effort, but that is just a minimum. That is something that you have to kind of deploy, right, to to check if things work, and you have to do that. But aside from that, I think this notion of marketing being really expensive is sort of a hangover from the corporate marketing era, where you saw billboards and tvcs and so on and so forth, right? I think sometime around, I would argue even earlier. I mean, there were people who are really ingenious about how to spend on marketing. But I would say the whole digital marketing aspects changed marketing forever, right? I mean, you could do very good marketing at extremely bootstrapped budgets. So even us at Wimo, we are not big spenders at all, right? So we are extremely prudent with our money, and we run really hard and we do a bunch of things, but we don't spend as much. In fact, I would say, in similar terms, I think we probably have a fifth of the budget that other comparable, maybe less actually, probably less than a fifth of the budget that other comparable startups deploy on marketing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So today, marketing is looked as one of, or is considered as one of the primary functions for lead generation, right? And even now we consider content marketing as very important to generate both brand awareness, product awareness, and as well as generate interest to for consumers or target audience to engage with your product or with your brand. Do you see content marketing still to be relevant even now, even in 2020?
It depends what kind of product. It depends what kind of market that you're going after, right? So let me qualify that a little bit. If you
Mhm.
are, let's say, a $3,000 ACV product, then obviously discovery becomes through digital, right? Online. So top of the funnel becomes extremely important. and part of the discovery process is content, essentially, right? I mean, your content being on multiple different platforms, attracting people on the web through top of the funnel content, essentially, right? And as you sort of move towards the right, and let's say you go past the 50K ACV or even towards the 100, 150K ACV, your content marketing starts looking more like product marketing, right? Which is use cases, case studies, those kind of things, reports, those kind of things, right? Now, I'm a big fan of hashing both things out, right? There are elements you can use from the left-hand side and elements you can use from the right-hand side, right? If you look at the left-hand side, the kind of content is extremely lucid, right? Because essentially you're selling to one person, and likely the person that you're selling to is both the decision maker and the user, right? But if you look at the right hand side, the content is extremely dense because the person who's making the decision might actually be a C-level person, and the person who's using it maybe like 4 levels down, right?
Okay.
The kind of content that you're producing on the right hand side is for the C-level person to consume, right? And not really for the person who's actually using it to consume. You can actually mix and match this. On the left hand side, they make the big mistake of not being centered around business, right? So I work with a lot of SaaS products as well, right? And one of the primary mistakes they do is, they come off as a nice to have, they don't center it around business metrics, right? There are only two kinds of businesses. Either you help increase revenue or you reduce cost, right? So your product or solution has to do one of those things, and your value has to be pegged to one of those things. Now, it's very easy to get carried away on your communication to do neither.
Right.
You're solving a problem, but then it's not pegged to the dollar. Okay, and that's something that especially I see on the left hand side, right? So Slack, for example, can say this is the new place to work, right? They can do that. They have 100 salespeople out there pushing the solution there, right? The Slack is enterprise right now, right? They have that right now, but you don't have that, right? And especially in these times that we're living in, where people are tight with the dollar, you have to be mindful of the fact that someone wants to see an uptick either in revenue or a reduction in cost. One of those things from a communication perspective,
right?
So on the left hand side, people should kind of peg themselves to business metrics. On the right hand side, the opposite problem happens. On the right hand side, people are all about numbers and facts and figures and whatever. They miss the storytelling element to it, right? Nobody cares at the end of the day that my industry grew like 25%, and you see these facts, right? 7 out of 10 people said this, and 14 out of 9 people said this, and sometimes I look at them and I wonder, like, who are these people, right? I mean, are these like, do you have a marketing team, and do you push these questions around to the marketing team or what, right? So they do a very bad job on the right hand side of actually telling people why they should use the product, right? So this is the sort of a balance that we'll have to strike, right? On the left hand side, you have to center it around business. On the right hand side, you have to center the story around why someone should actually use your product, right? Aside from the facts and figures on how the industry is moving and how dozens of your competitors are doing and whatever, which is important, no doubt. But that's the correction that I see. That's the balance that I see.
Got it. Fantastic. I think as a leading segue to this topic, we have a question coming in. This is from Aishwarya Raman. I think she's from your team only. Yes. For a company who wants to bring in more sales leads, how can content marketing help us to do that? There's another similar question on lead generation, which is again towards channel and lead generation. How do I find out which channel can help me get the maximum leads for the money that I spend? The money that I spend could be on people within the team, or it could be on the resources to build that content. So there are these two questions that are coming in.
So if I understood correctly, it's about how content can generate leads. That's the basic premise of the question.
Correct.
Right. See, in the low ticket ACV sort of a business, content can add a lot of top of the funnel momentum for you, right? So which is that your business is entirely going to be website driven, right? So it's going to be a see, click and buy kind of product, right? I'm assuming if it's on the left hand side, right? So which means getting people through the front door, and the front door in this case is the website, right, is extremely important. And the way your website can be discoverable is through content, right? This content you could share on affiliate websites, social media, your own personal blogs, whatever it is, right? The thing you have to be mindful of there is to not get really spammy and just simply direct people onto your website, right? Because there is a certain amount of fatigue that sets in when I've seen the same landing page 3 times. When I've seen the same landing page even twice, actually.
Right.
Bring the person in for a reason, right? And give that person something of value to stay. Okay? So the era that we are living in right now at this point of time is the build the audience era. Okay? People are building an audience even before they have a product for that audience. Right? So content becomes a thing that you can center your audience around. It's a nice layer to wrap this audience around. Right? So let me give you a few different examples. If you look at Webflow, right? A lot of content on no code. They own that movement, right? If you look at Gainsight, they own the customer success category, right? If you look at Drift or Intercom, conversational marketing,
Correct.
right? And these are guys who've actually written out, forget about blogs or whatever, they've actually published books on this, right? They're giving something of value to these people for them to engage this audience more meaningfully, not just simply directing them onto a website. Because trust me on this, at best, I mean, after 2 times, that landing page is no longer useful for me, unless something circumstantially has changed for me, right? So use the content as a way to engage your audience and not just simply direct them onto a landing page or a website, right? And in terms of leads, of course, I mean, content can help you with discoverability, right? It can also help you a great deal with engagement. It can also help you a great deal with understanding what that positioning has to be, right, from a marketing perspective. Because the first marketing message that you make up, even if you talk to like 10, 15, 20 people, is hypothetical. It's a theory at that point of time. I'm sorry, it's not a theory, it's a hypothesis at that point of time. You have to continuously validate that hypothesis with the prospect, right? And that process of validating happens only when you have an engaged audience, when you complete that loop per se, right? So that's a long-winded way of saying, yes, content helps a great deal with top of the funnel, right? In terms of getting people in through the front door, right? The other content that people possibly ignore is the middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel content, right? Which is the use case content, which is the competitive analysis content, the battle cards. Those are things that people miss. I routinely talk to founders who have no idea how their product is different from the other, or they don't have a structured answer for that. Right? You talk to any product marketing person at a large enough company, and you ask them, hey, why is your product different from product number Y or product A in that market? And he will have a 3-bullet answer for that. He or she will have the 3-bullet answer, right? And that is something because they worked on it, right? And if you look at awareness, consideration, and decision, the consideration and decision parts are like is when someone is like closer to the door, closer to buying a product. So it really should be a no-brainer to have like 20 variations on those things, right? Is to have a follow-up deck, to have that use case template, is to have the battle cards and everything. You should not be fighting at that point of time to make up stuff for them, right? So I would say content, top of the funnel, bring in the leads, as well as middle and bottom of the funnel to accelerate those leads to closure. That's how you have to look at content.
Yeah. So in this bottom and towards closure, or moving it to qualifying that lead and moving it toward the sales team to help them to close. So what you're saying is you've got to have content which will serve for different levels of engagement.
Correct.
Not just at the top of the funnel, but as they move into the various stages of funnel, have specific content it'll engage with the audience. Fantastic. So one of the next topic that this leads into is marketing is a game of experiments, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's like the stock market results, right?
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you again.